Hello and welcome once again to my SED Talk. This is Dr. Cedric Wood. I'm coming at you from Dallas, Texas. And I've got a smile on my face because that's just what I naturally do. But I shouldn't have a smile on my face because this is a horrible tragedy in Uvalde. It's pronounced Uvalde, Texas. What a tragedy. But is it more or less than all the other school shootings? Each and every one of the families left will say this is the worst, of course. Their child, their spouse, their mother was killed. Horrible. I'm going to keep making these videos until we get this right. There's all kinds of questions and solutions being offered. Of course, the first solution that's right out there is gun control. Well, I'm not against gun control. Background checks, they're fine. I guess the Republicans are against that. I know why, but Beto O'Rourke's right. They need to step up and do something more. Was he right to break into that meeting at that time? At that time, no. As the guys said to him, this is inappropriate. This is not a time for you to be talking about this. Okay. But if I'd been the governor and I was sitting there and saw Beto come in, I would have said, hold on, guys. It's okay. I'll talk to Beto. Have a seat, Beto. Let's talk about it. Because there should be more debates in public. I'm sorry that Beto had to push himself, you could say inappropriately, into this situation to talk about it. It should be arranged, and there should be a moderator. I volunteer, okay? Because we need to talk about doing more. Now, I'd like to say that the more we could do is pass a law that says no young person, young man can go into a gun shop and purchase an AR-15 or any gun without somebody 10 years older than him saying he is a good guy, I know him, he hasn't had any mental health problems at all. And then have them sign a voucher with the stipulation that if he does go and start killing people in a day or in a year, you will be held accountable for saying that he's a good guy. Whoa, that's asking a lot. Well, maybe that would mean nobody would be willing to go in with a young man and sign that voucher, which would mean he would not be able to buy not one, but two AR-15s and many, many rounds of ammunition. That's one solution. Another solution is let's get gun shop owners educated. Let's get the owners educated about noticing a young man coming in who does not report being a big-time hunter with his camouflage cap on. Just let somebody know. That should be a law, that you just let the local police know this young man's come in, and that should be accepted in our society that the police would knock on his door and say, we've been told that you've just bought an AR-15. Yeah? What of it? Well, we'd just like to talk to you a little bit about that. Are you a person who likes to go to the target range? Are you a hunter? And if they can't really be assured that this kid is okay, then, and if we have to pass a law, you are going to be required to go to 5 sessions of individual counseling. Of course, I prefer 5 to 10 sessions of family therapy. Now, why do I say that it should be family therapy? Well, just look at this situation. If this were to happen and they were to say you have to go to therapy with your mom and dad, he would say, well, my dad's not in my life. Okay, red flag, there it is. Well, go with your mom then. My mom's a drug user up in Michigan, living with her boyfriend. Okay, we have been empowered by the state of Texas to say you must go to therapy with your grandmother and your grandfather then 20 times. Find a therapist right here in Uvalde and go 20 times. Why aren't we smart enough? Beto was inappropriate, but his passion was understandable. We've got to do something, okay? It's not that hard. This should be something that the Texas legislature should agree to. Those two things. And why am I so insistent on therapy? Because the answer to all the questions of how could this happen is this: his pain in his heart, his mind, his soul, and psyche. The pain was so great. It's really annoying, I'm sorry, when these very sincere reporters say, "We may never know what caused this. We will never know why he would get..." We already know why. You don't have to look past your local psychologist, especially your developmental personologist. Now, that's a mental health professional who focuses on and specializes in understanding the child development. When a child develops with a family like this, he's in danger, and everybody in his town is in danger of a tragedy like this. That is why he did it. Children need some basic things in their life. Let me see if I can go over 3 of them. Number 1, they need lots of love. Well, granddad and grandmom said, well, we loved him. That's not enough. He needs to have the kind of fun, loving interaction that comes from him growing up with mama and daddy. And it's okay if it's another caregiver, like a step-parent or a very close and involved grandparent. That's okay too. But if the parent or caregiver does a good job of giving this love, the child won't grow into doing something like this. You realize that, right? The second thing that children need is they need to be able to have projects in their life. And this is as simple as some little project for a class at school. These tremendous kids had their little banner of success, of attendance, or award of some kind that they succeeded at, and they were beaming with pride. That's what children need. They need to be involved. Did he get his little certificate when he was 10 years old? I kind of wonder if his parents were not helping him be successful with these projects. And the third thing that a child needs to have, which would be the result of 1 and 2, is to develop a sense of who they are. A sense of self. Healthy self-esteem. 3 things go together, I've noticed, over the past 30, 35 years. Self-esteem, depression, and suicidal, homicidal ideation. As depression goes up, it's indicating usually that the self-esteem is going down. And when those 2 happen, then it's possible that suicidal thoughts start to occur to the child. And in the worst case scenario, they start thinking about homicide. Peyton in New York actually wrote on his book, when asked what he would do, he just wrote, suicide, homicide. That's enough for whoever read that to report it to the authorities, and the answer is not to send him to some kind of psychiatric evaluation for a day and a half and discover that he was not a threat. Are you kidding? 20 sessions of family therapy, period. Why aren't those parents in New York being held accountable? The 2 parents of Salvador, which, by the way, means Savior. That's a unusual name to name your son Savior. And what a tragedy it is that he was exactly the opposite because of your behavior, Mom and Dad. Those 21 people in Uvalde needed a Savior to be saved from Salvador. We've got to step up. This is not complicated. It's difficult to enact to get parenting classes in every high school in the state of Texas, but we're going to pass that law in spring of 2023. Write your representative, write your senator, and say, please vote for the Senate bill, the House bill. We don't have a number yet, but we've got to build support to teach kids how to be parents. And part of that class will now most assuredly be that if you don't do a good job, your child could grow up to be a murderer and a mass shooter. Do you want that? No, they'll say. Then do you all, raise your right hand, I promise that I will be a great parent and I will make myself avail myself to parenting classes, and I will read parenting books. That's what we have to do. But in the short term, we've got to start looking around us and saying, who has parents that are falling down on the job right now? And let's gently and respectfully, but firmly, encourage them to get the education they need on how to be a great parent. And family therapists and developmental psychologists, developmental personologists are the people to go to. We're all over Dallas, Texas. I'm here to help. Okay? And if we can do that, then we will greatly slow down these shootings and these horrible murders we're seeing all the time. That one was so tragic, a beautiful, young, athletic woman, obviously, the best that America can produce is this wonderful. And then a person thought it was okay to get a gun out of jealousy, go to her place and kill her. Unbelievable, unacceptable. They know who it is. Where are her parents? I think they should be interviewed. Kids should be taught slowly, more and more, we are going to be holding you, mom and dad, accountable for what your kids do. So, sit up straight, pay attention. We're going to go over the basics of how to be a good parent. Please support this initiative. If you have any questions, call me, write me, come see me. I am Dr. Cedric Wood, right here in Dallas, Texas. You can find me on YouTube, and you can go to my website, drcedricwood.com. Take care.